Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel, Roseology. So today's reading is a continuation of a series that I started on my channel maybe like 2 years ago, where I consult the wisdom and support from Egyptian gods, you could call them. And today we are consulting the Great Dejhuty, aka the Egyptian god Thoth. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes to explain this energy so that way you can personally connect to him. If you want to just get straight to your message though, head down to the description or the comment section for access to the timestamps. So on my channel, I always refer to the ancient Egyptians as Kemetians because Kemet was the name for Egypt for thousands of years during the Old Kingdom before the Greeks invaded. So you will hear me refer to the ancient Egyptians always as ancient Kemetians. He has also been called Tahuti, Tetu, Zehuti, or Lord of Kemenu, which later on became the city of Hermopolis. But you may know him as Thoth, Tuti, or even Hermes, which came later on from Greek influence. He also shares a lot of similarities to the Archangel Metatron, but that is my own personal observation. But Dejhuty is the ibis-headed Netru, sometimes also depicted as a baboon, and the lazy translation of the word Netru is God, even though the ancient Kemetians didn't believe in multiple gods, but rather one God with just many different faces, personalities, behaviors, expressions, and characteristics. Just like how we as humans have very many different faces and etiquettes, they saw God as all things, life and death, order and chaos, light and dark, good and evil. And in order to be all things, you have to exist as the perfect balance between two polarities. And this is why they had a different Netru to represent these opposing forces or faces of God. So Netru has a much deeper meaning than just the word God and is more so of an aspect of nature, this reservoir of life that is infinite, eternal, self-sustaining. Like nature itself, and the words are very similar. If you look into the etymology of the word nature, you'll see the connection there between nature and Netru. One of the most respected Kemite Netru was Dejhuty. He was probably one of the highest ranking gods, closest to Ra. Dejhuty was said to be self-created, or that he emerged from the head of Set. There's also stories that Dejhuty came from the lips of Ra in the beginning and is one of the only Netru without a mother. Dejhuty is also the Netru of wisdom, or the essence of wisdom, and the keeper of all universal knowledge. He invented writing, hieroglyphs, magic, art, science, philosophy, religion, even government, which is why he's always depicted with a scroll in hand. He was also known as the Lord of the Moon because the moon was considered masculine according to the ancient Kemetians. Some of his other titles, though, include the Lord of Time, the Incorruptible, and the Reckoner of the Years. And this is proved by his important role in the process of death, judgment, and the afterlife, which was celebrated in ancient Kemet. And at each weighing of the heart ceremony, he stands next to his wife or consort, known as Ma'at, who is the concept of truth, justice, karma, and balance. In other words, this is the state that God exists at. Ma'at can also be looked at as God consciousness or pure enlightenment. And at these ceremonies or judgments, Dejhuty is the protector of Wazir, aka Osiris, the Netru or essence of the Duat, or the underworld and afterlife. So one brief story of Dejhuty is he was a spectator at the great battle between Set and Haru, aka Horus, and when one of them would get hurt, Dejhuty would heal the other, so the fight would remain equal and that neither one had an advantage over the other, and he would mediate between both sides while recording the contest for who should rule. So in other words, Dejhuty's job was in managing the universe, giving Ma'at framework and structure so that he could enforce the laws of balance onto mankind. Now, he didn't take our free will. He didn't force us to act either which way. Dejhuty teaches in the Emerald Scrolls that the only reason we humans have access to free will is because of Ma'at, otherwise known as karma. So Dejhuty could bring on peace, protection, and healing, or merciless judgment, conviction, and death. So in today's reading, I'm consulting Dejhuty on a lighter note as an unbiased judge or spectator in our own lives, what he suggests that maybe we should do differently, and the messages will be delivered as such, very straightforward and to the point because that is his energy. So if it ever gets a little bit too harsh for you, log off, ground, and come back later on because he is a representative of truth truth. And the truth is definitely an acquired taste. Now, for 2021, one of the notes that I wrote down for the entire year after looking at the astrological charts was to get as close as possible to an energy, deity, or spirit of wisdom and knowledge, because this is the year that the collective is in deep need of a translator of truth, an arbitrator of truth, because of the challenges ahead, which are mostly mental, and an energy like Dejhuty is beautiful at keeping us grounded and tuned into the truth meant for us and our respective path. And I've been wanting to do a reading channeled from him for a long time, but he actually came to me at the start of this year, close to about a month ago, and gave me permission to do this reading and to get it done. Now, I could go on and on about Dejhuty and all things Kemet. You guys know me, but this is why I am making that Patreon, and we'll be extensively discussing all of the things that I've learned about Kemetology, Kemetic tradition, Kemetic history, the Kemite pantheon, the Netru, how to connect to them personally, how to work with them, and a lot more. So that'll be out towards the end of this month, you guys. But if you want to check out the other pick of cards that I've done from other Kemetic Netru, such as Aset, who is also known as Isis, and Wazir, aka Osiris, I will link them down below. Let's just jump into the disclaimers, because I've spent about a day and a half explaining this reading. So tarot should not dictate your life, and I know most of you guys know this, but there's a lot of new people to spirituality and people that see tarot as a crystal ball that's going to tell them something that they don't know or make their decisions and do work for them. That is not what my readings serve as. My readings do not serve as your answers, because only you have those. My readings will help guide you to your own inner knowing and to validate what your intuition has been trying to tell you all along. So never try to force a message. Either it will work or it won't. Let these messages serve to confirm the things that you do know but have forgotten. So if something does not resonate, either that part of the message is not meant for you, or you might not be ready to hear it, because tarot will reveal truths about our frequencies, and we have to be ready and willing to hear those truths in order for these messages to resonate, okay? So take what resonates and leave the rest. And for those of you that want to participate in this meditation, let me just say, like I always do, this is a general reading for the collective. So in order for this reading to resonate with you, you need to be synced into the energy of this reading. To help you do that, and to help you select a pile with your third eye and not your physical ones, I will be offering a 60-second meditation. 30 seconds into that meditation, I'll be placing crystals for those that like to pick piles with objects on them. So if you are drawn to another pile, that's because there's another message for you in that pile. So if you are ready, get into a relaxed position. Become aware of your entire body, starting with your feet. Work that awareness up in sections from the feet to the head. Then take a deep breath in through your nose for around 5 seconds. Hold that breath for 3 seconds, and then exhale for 6 to 7 seconds. Then ask your guides, spirit, ancestors, angels, the universe, or all of them to connect you to your higher self, so that the way you can consult with the Great Dejhuty and receive a message from this divine energy. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, and pile number 5. On pile 1, we have this clear quartz cluster, very angelic. On pile 2, we have prehnite. On pile 3, we have black tourmaline. On pile 4, we have onyx. And on pile 5, we have pyrite. All right, hopefully that meditation was enough time for you to pick a pile and tap into your own psychic awareness. Please let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, Spirit itself, of course, the amazing Dejhuty and Ma'at, as well as even Aset for these messages today. Now, let's see what the Great Dejhuty has to say to you, and I will meet you guys over at your pile. All right, pile one, welcome to your reading. So let's get started with tarot cards, and we'll check out your oracle cards to see what the amazing Dejhuty wants to say to you today. So let's get started. The very first tarot card that we have here is the Three of Swords. And then we have Temperance in reverse. And this is Ma'at on this Temperance card here. Ma'at is actually the consort or wife to Thoth or Dejhuty. So pile one, what do you keep reliving? It's over and over and over again. It's like a pain reappears to you and you relive it. So Dejhuty wants to address that with you first and foremost. You reliving this ordeal, this trauma, this pain, this past experience or memory is not serving you at all. Okay? It's hindering you from ascension and from healing. It's keeping you stuck in the past. It's keeping you like stuck in this loop of the past and attached to suffering. And this is not what Dejhuty wants for you. But you have to want it more for yourself, pile one. You have to say no to those wounds that come back to re-injure you through your mind or your memories with this Three of Swords right here. There's something that you may wish you would have done differently. Maybe you wish you would have reacted differently, spoken up more, defended yourself harder, fought back, said something else. You have to forgive yourself, pile one, for not doing something in a specific way, or for not doing something that you didn't know to do at the time. You know how they say hindsight is 20/20, right? So that you're my pile for that. That person that, says, well, hindsight is 20/20. I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. And you judge yourself off of that. You judge yourself for not having done more or less in a past situation where you have to realize you were working with the knowledge and information and maturity levels that you had at that time. Especially if this was a first-time incident or an isolated one. How could you have known exactly what to do? How could you have known that months or years or weeks or days from now, this moment or experience was going to stay with you? And I'm going to wish that I had done differently. How are you supposed to have known that? So you've got to forgive yourself, pile one, because without that self-love and acceptance and understanding, you cannot become the person that you are meant to become. With this Temperance right here in reverse, you have got to let go. Your entire being is so ready to become something more, but you have to let go of who you used to be or what was or what did happen in order to become something else. That's the gag. That's the trade-off right there. Well, do you want to change your life? Okay, well, then you have to let go of what your life is. Do you want to change who you are? Okay, well, then you have to let go of who you are in order to create space and room to invite in that change. And it's not about necessarily just denouncing who you are and becoming this whole different person. It's not about that at all. It's just about simply when we want our lives to progress or when we want something to change, when we're trying to invite in transformation, we're the ones that have to create space for it. And with this Temperance card right here in reverse, what it's saying, and this Three of Swords upright, what it's saying is your space is already occupied by pain. With this Three of Swords, your space is already occupied by disappointment. Your space is already occupied by the past. So something has got to be cleared out here. That the way, what you can make space for is something exciting, something warming, something embracing, something that is of pure love versus this pain right here and suffering. So that has to get out of the way first. And the best way to do that is to heal. To let yourself go through all the motions. But eventually at some point, you have to get to a space where you're like, you know what? I'm done reliving this. I'm done feeling this. And it'll come at the time when you know that it's right for you. It's different for everyone. I'm not going to get, picky here. This is the message that Dejhuty wants to give to you. But, at the same time, too, it's really difficult to sort of say a general message like this, knowing that everybody is dealing with a different level of trauma or dealing with a different level of pain or suffering. You know, everyone's walking at their own pace and experiencing life at their own pace and from their own viewpoint. So it's hard for me to kind of generalize that and say that. So the best thing that I can say is allow your body, allow your emotions, allow your spiritual being and your emotional body to feel what it needs to feel at the moments that it needs to feel it. And then eventually at some point, and you'll know when it's best for you, you'll know when it's right for you to let that go. That's the way you can invite in something new, because I really do feel like something new is trying to come to you guys. Give me a second here. Let's see if we can do a quick pull. See what is coming to my pile one. Dejhuty is coming to my pile ones. Oh, that one actually landed in the bowl. Okay, look at that. We've got the Devil in reverse and the Ten of Wands in reverse. See? So Dejhuty's trying to release, or at least he is wanting to give you the message that what's coming to you is peace. What's coming to you is releasing of such a heavy emotional burden. What's coming to you is the freedom to take your own life back, to reclaim your life back from whatever this situation or past experience was. Look at this, underneath the deck, Page of Cups, there is love that's trying to come to you. Could even be a relationship, the Sun that's trying to come to you. Do you see this? And this is what's trying to be cleared away. It's just a matter of you. You're the one that is directing this. Magician card underneath the deck. I'm going to stop here. A Magician card underneath the deck, Four of Pentacles. You're the one that dictates exactly what you hold on to and exactly what it is that you bring in, exactly what you share your space with, your emotional space, your mental space, your physical space. It's all up to you what you share that with. But like I said, your space is occupied right now, and that's what needs to be freed up. Let's check out you guys' oracle cards here. See what we've got going on. Okay, I'm just going to flip them all over. So we have here, we've got I am accepting. Beautiful. Really interesting too. Then we have I do the best I can. Exactly. And then we have exposed and revealed. So with exposed and revealed right here, I think you feel vulnerable, cracked open, exposed, and we usually feel uncomfortably vulnerable when we are still wrestling with the past and unable to forgive it or to accept it. Like it says here, I'm accepting and I do the best that I can. But we'll get to these in a second. So, you know, when we struggle to accept what has happened, it can leave us exposed and revealed to the world. That's what's happening for you here, Pile 1. That's what's happening for your healing as well. That's why you still feel this pain so vividly. It's like it's in high definition, this past pain or memory or experience. You can still feel it, sense it, taste it, touch it. It's almost as though you could touch it, you know? And this is because your being is outsourcing itself almost as a means for help. So this is a cry for help. So your heart and mostly mind can heal. I'm wondering if some of you have been diagnosed with PTSD or even generalized anxiety, because that's coming up here for someone. You're feeling vulnerable or exposed because there's a part of you that's still wounded or hurting. Take an injured animal, for instance. They tend to act more paranoid, scattered, and worried because they know that they have an illness that makes them susceptible to the elements, to predators, and anyone else looking for an easy target. A part of you is moving with the paranoia that you are unprotected, defenseless, that you're an easy target because your protection was compromised at one point, and you are still carrying that around. And you're still carrying that intelligence around of what can happen when you're vulnerable, when you're exposed, when you're unprotected. And most of it is because you felt taken advantage of in the past. And this has to heal so you can come to this knowing that you can protect yourself without having a wall up, that you can be vulnerable without being weak, that you can trust without being lied to. So with this, I am accepting and I do the best that I can. This is what I was saying, Pile 1. How could you have known what was to happen down the line, into the future, how this would stay with you long after it had happened. You did the best that you could. You acted or reacted in that moment without knowing the outcome, like the rest of us. Accept that you did and are doing the best that you can. Acceptance has to happen, pile one, for this to be let go of, for your space to be for your space to be freed up. So you need to put a notice on the door and let your past know that, hey, I'm moving in some new energy. I'm moving in fresh energy. I'm moving in this next chapter. You got to go when you are ready. You know, some of you as well may be wrestling with the fact that you're coming to terms to realize that something that happened in the past wasn't okay. And now you're really struggling with how to deal with that because you dealt with it for so long. It's like some of you didn't even realize that maybe you were in an abusive situation or a violent situation or a dangerous situation or a toxic, unhealthy situation. It's like some of you are coming around to realizing it now through some maturity that, hey, this wasn't okay. And you're really struggling with how to verbalize that, how to communicate it, how to deal with it. But for sure, pile one, like I said, you go through those natural motions. Whatever it is that you feel that you need to feel, whatever it is that you feel that you need to say or do that in a healthy space for yourself. Maybe even look into talking to someone about it that you trust to kind of see, get a good idea on, hey, how should I handle this? It's maybe something that you realize from the past, from your childhood, a previous relationship, like, hey, what happened here actually wasn't okay. And you may be feeling a bit of guilt or shame behind that you didn't actually know it wasn't okay. But you realize it now. Let me get one final card for you guys. Let's just hear from the Mother Aset, otherwise known as the Goddess Isis. So we're just going to get one final message from her, because I feel like you guys are just in a state of healing right now, and healing is painful. Healing never feels like healing. It never looks like healing. And then you look around one day and you realize, like, wow, I've actually purged this from my being. I've actually let this go. And you'll be proud of yourself. But right now, you're actually in the process of healing, pile one. That's why you're feeling everything so vividly. You're on the right track, in other words. Let's get one final message. Oh, there we go. And we have here, Mother of Life, nourishment of the golden grain mother. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, let me get the book and just read the little paragraph. Okay, and it says here in the card, we can sometimes fall into existing and doing rather than truly living. We only know that this has happened when suddenly our life seems dry, depleted, filled with tasks, or it feels like we are stuck in a rut or habit that may have been comfortable but is becoming stifling and suppressing. Aset, the Mother of Life, holds the ability to restore even the most numb, resistant, and difficult circumstances and people back into life. She calls to you now, seeking to bestow gifts of life upon you. Be bold and brave, open your arms and receive. Yeah, like I said, get ready for this new beginning that's coming in. Because your space is occupied a little bit right now, but what it looks like Dejhuty really wants to say to you is get ready to for this next chapter. And as well as even the Mother Aset is saying that, because she's trying to bless you with life. She's trying to bless you with more life. She's trying to bless you with an abundance of life in your own life. But the only way to do that is to clear out this pain in this past first, which you are actually on track to doing. You're on the road to doing. So you should be really proud of yourself, pile one, okay? So this is all that I'm seeing for you guys. And even too, let me also just add this. If you have any ankhs or anything like that, maybe put some up around your house. Maybe you could draw some. Maybe you could get some in the form of like jewelry and wear it if you're comfortable enough with doing that, because that may be a very significant sort of symbol for you right now as you are restoring parts of your life, kind of resurrecting them back from the past, really taking your life back into your own hands like we talked about earlier. So you really have the Mother Aset working in tandem with you, side by side with you, to restore life to certain areas of your life, okay? So this is all that I'm seeing for my pile ones. Beautiful reading. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, of course, Dejhuty, the Mother Aset, and Ma'at for coming through and delivering these messages, as well as Spirit for delivering these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. And until next time, stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, pile two, welcome to your reading. So we are starting with your tarot cards, then we'll check out your oracle cards to see what the Great Dejhuty has to say to you today. We may even hear from Ma'at, and I will also be pulling an additional card from Aset later on in your reading to get one final message. So let's get started. The very first tarot card that we have here is the Empress in reverse. And then we have here the Three of Pentacles, also in reverse. And then we have here the Page of Swords, also in reverse. Okay, so pile two, do you struggle with accepting help or apologizing or saying that someone else was right, or with taking advice? Maybe there's a little bit of a chip on your shoulder I'm picking up here where you feel like you have to prove yourself. I feel like for many of you, this is a learned behavior, something you likely saw from the women in your family. For example, like your mother or grandmother or aunts or sisters, something like that, where they rejected help, or maybe they just simply didn't have extra help and they sort of depended on themselves to do everything. Maybe they sort of depended on each other, like the sisterhood, to do everything. So some of you were taught or told that maybe crying is a bad thing or it's a weakness. So many of you guys in this pile never had a proper support system that taught you how to effectively communicate your needs and wants without feeling weak or desperate or incapable or inferior. Or like you were lacking, there's this energy around asking, whether it's asking for help or your feminine energy is a bit off. This could be like your sacral chakra. This is the area where, this is the area of our energy, or not our energy, but our emotions. The emotions has to do with the sacral chakra as well as the divine feminine and the element of water. So, feminine energy as represented by the Empress card here. And the Empress rules all the threes in the minor arcana of tarot because she is the 3 card in the major arcana. So you have her energy present here twice, and she is in reverse, which is pretty interesting. So this is like saying she's suppressed or is being blocked by a belief that you were taught with this Page of Swords in reverse right here. Some sort of belief that you may have been taught, especially with this Three of Pentacles in reverse right here as well, the card of collaboration. So, it's like you came from strong women or maybe men with very strong feminine energy, but either way, they lacked their yin feminine energy, or they expressed it in a completely different way than what is kind of healthy. It was all masculine energy here. You want something, you work for it, and you get it. You need help, figure it out for yourself. That the way you don't owe anyone anything. And it's like your family probably also did not believe in therapy, from what I'm picking up here. It's all about keeping the home in the home and dealing with things on your own. It just seems like emotional expression was not as supported. Maybe people would get angry. It seemed like maybe even people were quick to get angry, quick to say something out of pocket, but when it came to expressing emotions and being vulnerable, it was like that was kind of looked down on possibly. Therapy may have been seen as a weakness or a fault, something to be ashamed about. And in many of you guys' upbringing or family, so you had no way to connect to your emotions, not properly in a sense, and you're learning it now. And Thoth or Dejhuty is bringing to attention how brave you are for simply being able to say, I do need help. At some point, you guys asked for help. You went to therapy or rehab or enrolled in a program or a support group. Maybe you had a child of your own, a family of your own. And Dejhuty is bringing that up to say you are reversing a lot of stuck energy. You are releasing it, in other words. So there's so much that you are learning at a later age, and you may feel like a late bloomer that didn't catch on to this when maybe you should have, or you may wish that you had known that this wouldn't work for you sooner. It's like, damn, I wish I would have known how much I was suppressing, or I wish I would have known that I was actually doing this wrong all this time ago. Some of you too may have recently realized that college or university is not for you, but you are afraid of stepping away because it's all you know, or it's the only plan that you had. You're making the right decision though. I know that sounds like a very strange message coming through. It is kind of random. Sometimes I'll get hit with these random ass messages, and it might only be for 1 or 2 people here, but you know, you're making the right decision in terms of stepping away from college or an education, university, because you just know in your bones that this is not for you. Because this is the thing with your pile. You can physically feel when the right choice is standing right in front of you with this Empress card right here. It just takes you time to acknowledge that feeling, and it takes even longer for you to listen to it with this Page of Swords in reverse. But it is okay. Time is not your enemy. It is your friend, and you have learned a lot. Okay, let's see. Let's check out your other oracle cards here. So we'll just start with this one first. So we have here opening to discovery. Okay. And you see that it's like this little key right here. That's pretty neat. This is incredible. This is what I was talking about. Pile 2, you're learning a lot. I don't even think you realize how much you've changed because you are so focused on how much time has gone by, or how old you are, how many experiences you missed out on, or what you didn't know, but you have gone through an immense change, and you are still learning with this Page of Swords in reverse, and you're still gathering information with this 3 of Pentacles in reverse, and it is gradually interpreting everything that's coming in. But this change and everything that you are learning is opening up so many doors and avenues and possibilities for you, Pile 2. It's incredible. And look at how fertile and abundant life is just beyond that door. It's like if you look through that keyhole, you're going to see all this abundant life. And you've already put the key in terms of you awakening to this different level of awareness, of emotional awareness. Now, as you interpret all these messages, signs, synchronicities, and information that you are receiving, it's like you are slowly wiggling that key around. And when that door opens, a new life for you is going to flood out. It'll almost overwhelm you. And it's interesting because this new life for you is just simply seeing things differently. It's just simply seeing things differently. Let me see if there is anything new, though, coming to you. Let's just see really quickly. We've got 10 of Swords in reverse, 6 of Wands in reverse. Underneath the deck, we've got the Ace of Wands. Yeah, you guys do have some new stuff. Oh, it's 2 cards right here. 10 of Wands in reverse with the 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, okay. This is interesting. This is what I was talking about earlier. If you guys have a difficult time accepting help or asking for help or reaching out for help and support, because we have the 6 of Pentacles right here, 10 of Swords in reverse, and then the 6 of Wands in reverse, and the Ace of Wands underneath the deck. So this is definitely saying that you're learning how to communicate your needs. You're learning how to communicate what it is that you need, Pile 2. You're learning how to say, this hurts, or I'm stuck, or I'm in need of help because I literally can't do anything, and allowing people to show up and help you. Allowing people to show up and help you because you're realizing that in order for you to be successful in a certain part of your life, this might be being successful as a parent, or being successful as a spouse, a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend, a daughter, a whatever it is, a son, whatever it is. It's like, in order for me to be successful and be the best person that I can be, I have to learn how to communicate that with the people in my life, that, hey, I need this, hey, I need that. There's no other way. There's no other way for you. And that's the newness that's coming in for you, Pile 2. This is incredible. I knew you guys had something new coming in. We got that ace right there. Has any of you guys been pulling a lot of aces lately? Like, I've been reading tarot cards now for a good 3 years, and I legit can count on one hand how many times I've pulled aces in those 3 years. And over the last, I want to say, 6 to 8 weeks, I've been pulling ace after ace after ace. I'm just wondering if you read your own cards, if you've been seeing a lot of aces lately. It's crazy. Let's see, the next 2 cards that we have here is I affirm that all life is sacred. Beautiful. Look at that dragonfly. Every time I see a dragonfly, I think ancestors, because that's what they mean to me. Before I was even spiritual, I found that out, and it was wild. And then we have here, I hold purity in high esteem. Beautiful. Look at those chakras. Okay. Chakras and ancestors may play a big role in your life right now. Maybe something that you're learning a lot about right now, or really trying to connect to right now, really trying to work on right now. So, I hold purity and high esteem, and all life is sacred. This is connecting with your Empress energy hard, pile 2. All life is sacred. The Empress is the mother of life, as well as Aset is, or otherwise known as Isis. That means that everything that being feels is also sacred. Your emotions are sacred. So do not be worried about connecting to them. It may feel foreign, but emotions are the divine's way of talking to us. It's our higher self's way of communicating with us and telling us what is going on. Emotions are the translators of the soul, of the spirit, because we can't necessarily see our solar spirit. We can't tangibly interact with it. So we need some sort of translator, some sort of intermediary to come in and say, hey, this is what is going on with your metaphysical being. Hey, this is what is going on with your intangible being, with your frequency. Like I said, the first thing that I saw when I saw this card right here was all these chakras. And when I saw the dragonfly as the ancestor. So there's a lot that you're dealing with or learning about the metaphysical realm. I feel like for very many of my pile 2s, or you are personally connecting to the spiritual realm in a very deep way right now. So it's like, being cut off from emotions is like being cut off from the divine source of life. And that is our lifeline. This is why life had been looking and feeling differently for you, because you are beginning to water and nourish yourself by acknowledging that every part of you is sacred, not just the tough, practical, intelligent side that's been molded by yang masculine energy, but your yin feminine side is just as sacred and just as powerful, if not more. And I'm not trying to start a yin yang, war here, but they honestly need each other. They honestly need each other. But without that lifeline, your yang cannot be powerful, and your yang energy is there to protect the yin feminine energy. So it's almost as though, there's a part of you that is missing, that you want to connect with, that you're not connecting with, and you're really starting to develop that relationship right now, whether you are aware of it or not. And so it's like you are learning a different type of power, or you are awakening to it through connecting to what was off limits before. So really good job, pile 2. You should be very, very proud of yourself, because that's not easy. It's not easy to acknowledge and say like, hey, this is something that I need to improve. This is something that I need to learn or work on. So let's get one final message here from the mother Aset, otherwise known as the Egyptian goddess Isis. Get one final card for my pile 2s. Okay. Normally, I don't like doing 2 different cards. So normally, you guys, I don't like doing 2 cards, but it's something about these just intuitively felt like, no, they need to hear this. Okay, so I'm going to read the paragraphs off of both of these cards, but it's interesting that the Eye of Horus came out, because the Eye of Horus is, look at it, it says awakening divine perception. Like I was talking about, you're starting to see things clearly now, like with this opening to discovery card. The Eye of Horus brings divine perception, protection, and insight. Yep, you are gifted with certain spiritual abilities, including divine sight, that are awakening and growing now. This is what I was talking about. It says you have much divine support and protections so that you may grow your abilities and serve others with your divine gifts. Trust your perception and know that you are divinely protected. Yeah, like I was talking about how the yang protects the yin energy. And you are divinely protected as you are developing this new higher sight that you're really coming into. And then with Lady of the Stars here, Ceres is a celestial goddess, a star of unconditional love and wisdom at an extremely high vibration. It brings deep soul awakening, spiritual gifts, and a high capacity for divine service. Lady of the Stars is also an empowerment of all other oracles in this deck. She tells you to pay attention because something significant is taking place right now. Like I said, you guys are really opening up your sight. You're really coming to develop a relationship with maybe your ancestors or your chakras, your energy centers, and it's awakening so much of your being. It's like your DNA just coming alive. It's really wild here, how you are changing. It's like the core of you is starting to open up so you can see more of your own self. And this is really incredible. You're coming into a lot of power right now, pile 2. And so Sirius, the star Sirius, the literal star up in the sky, may have actually connected to you at some point. It may have actually started to pour in its own vibration, its own frequency to you. This is why you're having such an awakening of divine perception at this moment. As you know, Eye of Horus Heru is what I call him. His eye was plucked out in a battle against Set. But Ra, his grandfather, was really looking out for him and gave him the ability to get his sight, to gain his sight back. So Heru is known to have the eye of the sun as well as the eye of the moon, which is again yin and yang energy, which is really incredible. But this is all that I am seeing. My pile 2s definitely look into Sirius, look into Heru, look into these stories to see how they really connect to you guys. Look into chakras and your ancestors as well if you are open to that, because you guys are my main pile that is really opening up to a lot of different discoveries about your own self and your own abilities, which is beautiful. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, as well as Dejhuty, Aset, Heru, Ma'at, for coming through and delivering these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon, but until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. So we're starting with your tarot cards, then we'll check out your oracle cards to see what the Great Dejhuty has to say to you today. So let's get started. Very first card that we have here is the Four of Cups in reverse. Then we have the Star. And then the Page of Wands. Okay, pile 3. So it looks like you are struggling with people, intimacy, closeness, affection, or simply just trust. Just trusting people in general. Let me try to figure this out though. Let me sit with this for a couple seconds. Sometimes I just have to take a couple of moments just to try to translate what I'm feeling. It's like you feel like something you gave away out of the goodness of your heart was used against you. So yeah, this could be something like trust, loyalty, commitment, a favor, and it's like you weren't met with the same treatment. There's two groups in this pile 1. Some of you want to replace this person or relationship that you lost or walked away from in your life. You're ready, but you're really picky about it. There's all these like rules, you know, like you can hold me, but don't hold my hand. You know, maybe we're sleeping together, but don't kiss me. I like you, but don't ask me for a commitment or a label. You know, someone has to stroke you just right for you to open up to them or be willing to let them in to your life. You've set up a lot of requirements as a way to establish a better foundation, and I see you being more vocal or picky, and it's good because you're making yourself vulnerable with the Star card right here. And Jesus, vulnerability has honestly come up as a topic for just about each pile so far. This is really wild. I guess Dejhuty just has a lot to say about us not being vulnerable enough. But yeah, you're more open or transparent now. And it's like you know what you want. There we go. You know exactly what you want in a relationship or in a home or in a career. You know now. And that's going to intimidate some people around you, pile 3, but that's a good thing, because if someone gets scared off by you being sure of yourself and being sure of what you want, then that's because they weren't sure enough. And you can have opposing views, characteristics, and personality traits, but when it comes to knowing what you want, that is everything in a relationship or a dynamic. And not just our romantic ones, but even with friends, family, associates. And you know, so you've taken your time to yourself and learned a lot of lessons, and it could be clearer to you where the last relationship went wrong and how your future endeavors need to go, you know, moving forward when it comes to a successful relationship. There's others of you that know exactly what you want, and it's to be alone right now. It's to reflect or just simply to get some peace and quiet to yourself to process. Again, this is imperative, very imperative and critical that you know this is what you want. And because you are so sure, like, no, right now I want to be alone, you are rebuilding a really important foundation in your life. It could be your health, your finances, profession, credit, working on forgiving, letting go of the past, or reuniting old bonds and relationships. But it seems like you're taking a lot of this time to get to know yourself and your own triggers, emotional triggers for sure. So some of you seem afraid of people and relationships because you don't want to be codependent again. You don't want to feel like you need someone, or like you are willing to overlook red flags just to keep them around, just to keep them silent, just to keep them happy, you know, just to sort of cooperate with them. And you want to take care of that before getting back out there and inviting people into your life. So Dejhuty is commending you you for using so much wisdom in this next step when it comes to your personal life and your relationships. He's definitely saying, like, don't rush it. Let me just see. Let's just see. I've been looking for every other pile, so why not do this with you? Yeah, you see that? You got the Seven of Swords that just jumped out. So this is what, okay, so some of you guys were betrayed. I feel like this wasn't something that just happened. It could have, but I feel like this is more so like the past. It might not have even directly happened to you. It might have just happened to maybe like somebody that you really care about. But now it's like you've got all these, with this Page of Wands right here, it's like you're watching everything. And the second that you see a red flag, you're just like, oh no, I don't want to deal with that. Then we have here the Six of Wands. And we've got the Hermit in reverse. Yeah, Four of Pentacles underneath the deck. Okay. So, there's a part of you that just really does not want to explore the past. Like, you really don't want to. You don't really see the point in it with this Hermit card right here and this Four of Cups. Hermit card in reverse is as hermit mode as you can get, even more so than the Hermit upright. Hermit in reverse is like really strong retrograde energy, and we're actually currently, at the time of me filming this, in Mercury retrograde in the sign of Aquarius right now. This is a timeless reading, but at the moment of me filming this, we are currently in Mercury retrograde. And to see this Hermit card in reverse, it's like some of you are trying really hard not to really acknowledge that. You don't really want, you're just trying to look ahead. You know, you're really trying to just look ahead. But there is something here, especially with the Seven of Swords, that you're still a little bit holding on to with this Four of Pentacles. And then we have the Four of Cups in reverse. I think you are hoping for the best, but prepared for if things do go south. You got this hopeful energy within you and this like realistic energy within you. That's like, well, this did happen. Let's check out your oracle cards. Now you've got me got me intrigued. You got me a bit. I need to see some more. Let's see what we've got going on. Very first one that we have here is the Oracle's Gift. Interesting. Okay, some of you know somehow that you have something big to prepare for. So for example, you may be single right now, but you can feel it in your bones that you're being prepared for motherhood or fatherhood, or maybe like getting married even though no one is in your life right now, or you're being prepared for a spouse. Some of you are out of work right now but can intuitively feel that you're being prepared for a major position or business. Some of you feel so alone or isolated, but you know you're being prepared to host thousands of people. There's this knowing in you, pile 3, and that may be why you guys are not worried about the future as much. You have this knowing that I need to take care of me right now so I can prepare for this huge thing coming in. There's something much bigger coming to you, and you can sense it. That's a present to you, and a gift of yours is peace in the unseen. Logically, you may not be able to know or see what is coming, but your intuition does. So you have this peace in the unknown, very calm energy. Like I said, it's weird. It's like you've got two of these energies happening at the same time. It's like you got this energy of like, I forget what your other cards were. Yeah, it's like you got this energy of like, yeah, I'm just looking forward to the future. But then at the same time, it's like you're realistic as well. And that's kind of like the same thing that's happening here, where it's like, yeah, I'm single right now, but I definitely feel like I need to be prepared. You know, I feel like I need to get ready to be a mom or a dad someday. Something. You're hosting two energies right now. Next oracle card that we have here, I act respectfully of others. And then we have, I speak with good intent. Okay. So both of these cards speaks back to that inner knowing. Yeah, you may have been taken advantage of in some way, for sure, especially with that Seven of Swords that came out. You may have been taken advantage of in some way in the past. Someone broke your trust or lied or wasn't who you thought they were, but you still speak with good intent and optimism, and you still believe in people enough to respect them. You still believe in the future. You're still taking that intuitive message seriously that, hey, I might not have this right now, but I know that it's going to be mine in the future. Something like that. There's a calm energy about you because this is what's coming to you, pile 3. You can still believe in people enough to respect them. You still give people a chance, even though in the past you may have dealt with some shoddy people, some suspect people, some people that just weren't necessarily great people. They had a very flimsy moral compass. And you still, at the end of the day, give people a chance to prove you right or to prove you wrong. Let me get one final card here for you guys from the Mother Aset, otherwise known as the Egyptian goddess Isis. Okay, that came out fast. And we have here Divine Guardian, protection of the winged mother. This is why you guys take it so well. This is why. Then we have here Portal of Light. She glides on wings through time and space. You guys are a portal of fucking light. That is why you are able to hold optimism with everything that has happened. You're still pushing forward, looking ahead. Like, no, I'm looking ahead. I'm not focused on what happened. Even though I'm aware that it can happen, I'm realistic about it. I'm not going to allow it to stop me from embracing what's coming to me. I'm not going to allow it to stop me from developing genuine connections and relationships and genuinely dreaming of my future. This is incredible, pile 3. Let's read your card here. It says, you are venturing through a time of significant spiritual growth and healing. There are many changes occurring internally, and they will be reflected in your external world soon. Also, okay, that's what I was weren't we just talking about that you guys, like, you're getting ready for something to come through because you can feel something that's about to come through? And it says here, let me just repeat that sentence. There are many changes occurring internally, and they will be reflected in your external world soon also. You are protected during these times by the love and strength of the winged mother, Lady Aset. You can relax and allow your transformation to happen. Let your divine guardian protect you now as you learn to let go and trust in your own unfoldment for the greatest good. Yeah, you guys are so optimistic that something good is still coming to you. And because of that, just simply off of that faith, you guys are going to attract in so much good. That's why we have the Star card right here. You're really just sort of done harping on something you really don't want to. You're just ready to really move forward with this optimism for the future, which is really, really beautiful, pile 3, I'm sorry. It's really, really beautiful though, pile 3. But this is all that I'm saying for you guys. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit itself, as well as, of course, Dejhuty and the Mother Aset and Ma'at for coming through and delivering these messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, guys. All right, and pile number 4, welcome to your reading. So we are checking out your tarot cards. Then we'll look at your oracle cards to see what the Great Dejhuty has to say to you today. So let's get started. Very first card that we have is the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Then we have here the 8 of Cups. And then the 5 of Swords. Okay. So you were wondering why you're not manifesting, pile 4. I'm already picking this up with this 9 of Pentacles in reverse right here, and what you have to do to change that, because you are willing to do just about anything to change that with this 8 of Cups upright, except for when it comes to your mental state, your pride, and or your way of communicating. That is when you get sucked right back into these old habits. And those old habits with this 5 of Swords right here, those old habits have a way of dragging your vibrational frequency down to a place where it is much more difficult to manifest neatly all the things that you've been waiting for. And let me also say this, it is 222 right now on my clock. So yeah, that may be significant for some of my pile 4s. 9 of Pentacles in reverse is Dejhuty saying, if you want to change your life by manifesting your way out of certain circumstances, then you have to walk away or stop responding to these emotional triggers with this 5 of Swords right here. And it doesn't mean to stop defending yourself, pile 4, but for you right now, it means to stop engaging until you can collect more of yourself, until you can get to a place where these arguments or differences do not weigh you down so much. This 9 of Pentacles, if you look at it, if you look at this 9 of Pentacles, because this really has my attention right here. Let me hold this up for you guys. If you look at this 9 of Pentacles, it is a pharaoh here, obviously, of Upper Egypt. And we know that because he's wearing the Hajjet, which is the white crown of Upper Egypt. That's also why the lotus flowers are present here. Lotus flowers were very symbolic in ancient Egypt, but it was also kind of like the mascot for Upper Egypt as well. And he is giving thanks to the Most High, to the Creator, to the sun, the Aten, right? Or Amun. Because even a king is aware that he wouldn't be king and have all of these blessings if it wasn't for the grace of this higher power. It's a collaborative union between man and God, or willpower and fate. It is a realization of, I definitely did not get this far on my own. So even the crown gives credit where credit is due to something that is more powerful and advanced and important than it. And this is in reverse for you guys. This is in reverse for you guys. And then directly following that, we have the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups is saying, I give up. In this version of the 8 of Cups, there is thanks given for all of it. As you can see, when you kneel down like that, it is just a sign, a show of respect. It is a sign to say that I'm humbling myself in front of you. So there is thanks given for all of it. There's a humbling that is being depicted here. But then we end up at the 5 of Swords, when you're back to dealing with human beings. The moment someone challenges your standing, you hit back at them hard. They bring a knife to a gunfight, and it's like you bring bazookas. You know, it's like you go from being humbled in front of God, right here, even with this nine of Pentacles, you go from being humbled in front of God to forgetting all of that and being willing to whoop ass because somebody did not come at you correctly. So it's like you go from being humbled in front of God to forgetting that every living being is an embodiment of God. And then it connects right back to the cycle all over again, where you have to be humbled or sensitized to other people's realities or feelings, with this 9 of Pentacles in reverse right here, which leads you to asking for forgiveness or working on healing and soothing the parts of your pride that lashes out when it is triggered with this 8 of Cups. And so it's kind of like you're ready to put the weapons down, but then the second someone says or does something that you don't like, you go at them until you destroy them, until you break them. It's very intense. You go from the humbled one to being the one that tries to humble others, and Dejhuty is here to say that is not your job or place, pile 4. And this is why you are stuck in this perpetual cycle of not manifesting enough or as quickly as you want, or maybe not healing as quickly as you'd like, or not healing at all, because you are falling for this trap every single time. He wants to offer clarity on the progress that you have made or lack thereof and explain why. Stop justifying these arguments and debates that you get into that only seek to satisfy your ego and steal your peace, that only protect you. These debates and arguments, their only goal here, the reason why your ego is so eager to get involved, is because it's trying to protect itself from feeling small or inferior. One or the other has to give, but you cannot have both. Like I said, that doesn't mean stay silent forever, even now. It means stay away from the arguments and debates that have no point to them other than being right or validated. You don't even need that. You don't need that. Okay, and if this message isn't resonating with you, then either it's not for you, or it's not time for you to hear it, or you just simply don't want to hear it. Either which way, that's not my concern. It's not my issue. You deal with that. Come back when you're ready, or if you're not ready. But you know, either which way, it's going to resonate or it won't. Okay, but this is just this is the message that I'm receiving. This is a message that I'm giving. I said what I said. All right. So, all right, let's move on here to your oracle cards, because I want to see some other energy here. So let's go with, we'll go with these first. So we have here Awakening Genius. Wow. Okay. Beautiful card. And then Beyond the Ordinary. Okay. Well, yeah. We already knew that you were beyond the ordinary with this Nine of Pentacles card right here, depicting the King of Upper Egypt. You do have this regal presence to you. And that may be why as well you are so quick to respond to disrespect or misinformed people and trying to correct them, because you think so highly of yourself and you know who you are. But a king also knows how to not mingle with the commoners. Only commoners sit around and gossip, but only commoners sit around and spread fake news and false truths, right? So the king knows that he cannot argue with what every single person thinks or believes about him. He focuses on the bigger things at hand, like keeping the country safe and thriving and keeping food on people's tables and keeping people, out of other foreign affairs, things like that. He has way bigger fish to fry. He doesn't consider just one civilian and their opinions because he is the father of all of his people. There's a bigger picture that you are missing, Pile 4, but you are starting to awaken to it. With this awakening genius card right here, you are starting to see your own patterns and you are ready to be done with them. But again, we also already knew that from your Eight of Cups card right here. It's kind of a part of your cycle to walk away from these Five of Swords encounters feeling a little bit gross about how they played out and about how maybe you responded or maybe what you said, how you acted, and then going back and asking for forgiveness from that person or maybe from God or maybe yourself, because it's like a weight that you don't want to carry around. It's a reaction that you didn't like seeing yourself in. It's a state and an energy that you didn't like seeing yourself in. And you know that you're better than that. You know the saying, you roll around in the mud and you're going to get dirty. Your spirit may have descended from very high ranks, Pile 4. You may be a Capricorn as well, Leo, Libra, Scorpio, Pisces, Sagittarius is coming through very strong, or have a lot of planets in those signs of your natal chart. It's just what I'm picking up. You don't have to have these energies happening in your natal chart, but it's just what I'm picking up. But you just don't play about people having your name in their mouth or having you straight fucked up. You just don't play about it. Just misconstruing things, taking your words and jumbling them up, swearing you said green when in reality you said red. But Dejhuty is here saying for you specifically to let them get it all wrong. Sometimes the messages that I get for some of you guys is like, hey, clap back. Don't forgive them as easily. Stand your damn ground, speak up. But these messages change from reading to reading, situation to situation, and depending on the energies that I'm connecting with and working with. So for you specifically, Thoth is coming through saying to choose. Which is more important for you? Is it more important for you to correct the world or for you to live your life blessed? That's something that you're going to have to come to. But I feel as though your perspective is getting an upgrade. You are really starting to see things from this higher perspective. You really are. Let's see your next two oracle cards. So we have here, I honor animals with reverence. Okay. And then we have, I speak with sincerity. All right. So you might be one of those people that says you like animals more than people, but it's not even like that, Pile 4. I think for some of you, you are a people lover. You find humanity to be fascinating and beautiful because you've seen it at its best and you've seen the species at its worst. But if we could read animals' minds, we might not even feel the same. We can't understand them, so it's really easy to assume how they feel, but also animals can help my Pile 4s to embrace more tolerance. Really pay attention to the wild animals around you and any pets that you may have, because they can show you how to coexist with so many different types of people. Animals are constantly exposed to other species in the wild, and somehow they have found a way to thrive, and they're going to end up being around longer than us. So this card may also be saying that an animal spirit has been courting you almost. Pay attention to your dreams, because it could be some sort of feline, like a cat or a lion, maybe even Aset or Sekhmet trying to communicate with you. And if that's the case, that would make so much sense for your pile, because Aset and Sekhmet are the same energy expressed at different phases. Aset or Bast is the flirty, fun, laid-back, gentle side of Sekhmet, while Sekhmet, her name is derived from Sekhem, meaning the might of God. She's literally God at its most intense, passionate, full force. There's no way to calm her down when she reaches that peak of expression. And we saw that in your reading too as well. So, look into that. or look into working with animal deities' energies more closely. You might already do that, and that may be why they're coming through in your reading as well. And I speak with sincerity as you speaking with truth and power. You've got a lot of firepower in your words, pile 4, clearly with this 5 of Swords right here. So be careful and understand that you can alter the energy of a room or a person with what you say to them, because from the other end, they take it as truth. You speak with so much power in your words, they believe what you say, even if they are defensive while you are speaking to them. That's why they end up bowing to you, like in this 5 of Swords right here. And that's why even when you walk away from a debate being right and having made someone bow down to you, you don't feel good about taking their power away, because you already know that you don't need it. You don't need it. You're already kingly or queenly. And this 8 of Cups is you trying to set the scales back on your own, trying to balance them again, and trying to give that person's power back that you made bow to you. Maybe through asking for forgiveness and seeking some sort of a change here. But yeah, for sure, you guys are, you got a lot of power in your words. So watch how you talk and watch what you say, because people take it as truth. Let's get one final message here from Aset, otherwise known as the Egyptian goddess Isis. Oh, okay. And so we have here divine destiny, path of the divine warrior. This is why you guys like to debate and argue so much. You just got this warrior energy in you. Even Aset is acknowledging it. And then we have, look, high priestess, mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis. What did I tell you guys? You guys, more than likely, your spirit descends from some sort of high rank. It may be a high priest or a high priestess over in the spiritual realm, something like that, if that's how it works over there. There is a hierarchy in the spiritual world. I'm not sure how it works. I don't really think anyone is. But yeah, divine destiny, path of the divine warrior. This is why you guys don't take bullshit. This is exactly why. And it has been a struggle for you kind of learning how to balance that out, because you know how much power and intensity you can speak with. You know how intense your energy can be for someone that is not as tapped into their own power. Very, very headstrong you are. And that's why you're just like, no, like, we're going to get this straight. You're not going to just be walking around thinking this about me or talking about me in this way. And so it's a really nice balance that I see you trying to get a grip of when it comes to like remaining in your majesty energy and not responding to every little thing, not giving your energy and response and attention to every little thing and every little comment, but at the same time knowing when to speak with sincerity, knowing when to speak with truth, knowing when to come through and defend yourself. And it's not in a way to make others bow, but just in a way to sort of maybe even clear your name or defend yourself. And so what it says here, the divine warrior guides you to your divine destiny. The divine warrior energy exists within men and women as the inner propulsion to continue with a worthy path, even during times of difficulty. When faced with a challenge, a true warrior will summon more of him or herself to the cause. Yep, it might be more wisdom, focus, intelligence, and surrender into the divine. The warrior within has great inner resourcefulness and determination. This part of you will lead you to spiritual success. Beautiful, pile 4. So this is exactly what's going on here. This is why you have such intense power, but it's just that warrior that lives within you, that divine warrior energy that lives within you. And more than likely, like I said, you guys probably even descend from some sort of high spiritual ranking system or something like that. So you don't play when it comes to your name. You don't play about your name. You don't play about your reputation. You don't play about your business. You don't play about your integrity. Like, you make sure that people put respect on your name because you give respect. You give respect, and you just want the same thing back. But there is going to need to be a little bit of a balance in terms of recognizing who just has you a little bit, who's just a little bit confused, and who's just actually trying to steal your energy and steal your peace. There's going to need to be a better detection rate when it comes to that. Okay, pile 4. So this is all that I'm seeing for you guys. Other than that, really, really beautiful reading. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit. Of course, let me thank Dejhuty, Aset, and Ma'at for coming through and delivering their messages. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon. But until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, you guys. Sorry, you guys, I kind of hit my bowl. Anyways, welcome Pile 5 to your reading. So we're checking out your tarot cards before your oracle cards to hear what it is that Dejhuty has to say to you today. We'll also be hearing from the Lady Aset, the Queen of Heaven, otherwise known as the Goddess Isis, later on in your reading. So let's get started. Very first card that we have here is the Emperor in reverse. Then we have here the Four of Swords, also in reverse. And then we have here the Nine of Wands, also in reverse. I think this deck in particular just loves to come out in reverse. Okay, Pile 5. Very clearly I can hear Dejhuty saying not enough boundaries. There is not enough structure somewhere, organization, planning. There's something that you need to be prepared for, that you need to be prepared to lead, Pile 5. And you may struggle as a leader without being organized. Without organization, you cannot be efficient or proficient. You've got the experience hands down. There's something coming towards you that you're going to have to take over, that you're going to have to lead, that you're going to have to be in tip-top shape in order to handle. And like I said, you've got the experience hands down with this Nine of Wands right here in reverse. And that's something that cannot be taught. Whatever cannot be taught in a school or through a mentor, you have got that hands down. The things that can be taught, you are currently expanding your knowledge on the science or technology of this, but you are not absorbing enough of this information. You've got to apply yourself more and really push yourself, Pile 5. I cannot express that enough, especially for those of you with dreams of being an entrepreneur or a boss or a leader in your own right. You're not applying enough of yourself when it comes to things outside of personal experience, because that won't be enough for the position that you are destined to take on. Some of you may know that you need to get serious about going back to school or something maybe, or getting signed up or certified or licensed, getting some sort of paperwork out of the way, but you are dragging your feet here a bit. And Spirit is trying to take you, Pile 5, from this like mom and pop shop setup or casual approach to a more formal and professional one. There we go. That's exactly what I'm trying to get at. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Spirit is trying to elevate you to a professional setting, Pile 5. It wants to officiate you in a sense and give you more authority, but you have to do things by the book. Yes, many people are spiritually called or appointed and preordained to reach certain heights in this human incarnation, but humans have comprised a certain system that says in order to be certified in something, you have to go through these necessary steps. And Spirit wants to induct you, not just spiritually, but which has already happened before you were born, but also physically. Spirit wants you to wear the same spiritual credentials in this physical realm, so you can be a part of different conversations and have access to different rooms and different resources. But there has to be a level of seriousness applied when it comes to those other legal or judicial or legitimate requirements. So this is like taking an idea and materializing it, but God is doing that for you. The Most High wants to take you and who you are as a spiritual concept, which is who you are in the spiritual realm, and solidify it here, over here in this physical one. So it's really crazy that it's like you're like a concept in the physical realm. In the spiritual realm, you already are certified to do something. But in the physical one, it's like God is trying to materialize you, trying to manifest you in this physical realm. So let's just say that you're like a healer or something like that. I don't know, in the spiritual realm, or a priestess or something like that in the spiritual realm. Over here in the physical realm, God wants you to be looked at as that same in that same way. Let me just get a couple of clarifiers here real quick. See, we've got justice. Maybe you're some sort of like spiritual judge or something. And then we have 9 of Cups in reverse, the card of manifestation. Okay, yeah, so, and then we've got 5 of Cups right here, upright, underneath the deck. God wants alignment. The Most High God, the All, whatever it is that you call it or consider it, Spirit, the Divine, up to you. Name doesn't matter. It wants the same for you in the physical realm that you are in the spiritual realm. It wants just balance, justice. It wants everything to add up. This is God coming through and saying, this is what I want for you. This is kind of intense a little bit, but it feels really fun though too. Let's check out your oracle cards. I just want to look at everything now. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's just flip them all over. The very first one that we have is I give blessings. Okay. Next one that we have is I create harmony. Oh my God. And we just pulled the Justice card for you. Next two cards that we have, we've got Smoke and Mirrors. Interesting. Okay. And then we have here a Grand Symphony. Beautiful. Wow. Okay. So I create harmony and I give blessings. So this is not something for me to interpret because like I said with that Nine of Cups in reverse card, this is God speaking to you and is stating what it is about to do for you. But you just have to follow along on this side of things and stop putting off this list of things that you know that you have to do. Get serious about getting organized because God is working on creating harmony between this realm and the spiritual one so you can be seen in the physical plane as you are in the metaphysical plane. This card is also saying God itself is working on creating these divine opportunities where doors and windows will open for you, but you won't be able to walk through without certain credentials. There's a lot of blessings that God is trying to give you, but you literally need certain permits or documents or vouchers to collect them. You literally need them on this side of things in order to collect what it is that God has coming to you. Without these references, you won't be able to advance, so get serious about it. And I don't know, I don't have to tell you much. You guys already know. And that, wow, loud ringing in my left ear right now. That may happen for you too when Spirit is trying to speak to you. Loud ringing in my left ear. That may be another way that Spirit tries to get your attention. Ringing, some sort of body symptom or feeling or sensation or sound. Sound may be, oh yeah, we even have a grand symphony right here, and I create harmony. Sound may be very, very significant for you. You may be a music lover. You may play instruments yourself. You may just love to listen to a lot of music, sing, dance, write poetry, write songs, write music, produce it. You may love sound healing, things like that. It may really have a deep effect on you. Listening to sound healing, sound baths, getting things like that done. So yeah, you also may be clairaudient. You know, you may hear a lot when it comes to communicating with God and your spiritual team. Now, a grand symphony here, is there anything more harmonic than a grand symphony? There's a big moment coming for you, like a climax, where you are being very lax in your approach, not really thinking that it's anything serious. For some of you guys, this is just an idea or it's just fun for you, and you're just winging it to see how far you could get. But I'm telling you what's coming to you, you are not prepared for it because you're just thinking to yourself, like let's just say that, like, I don't know, you start an Instagram page or something, and you're just like, let's just see if anybody will even like my post or something, and you post that shit and it gets like thousands upon thousands or hundreds of thousands of likes or something crazy, right? It's like you're not prepared for this. You're not seeing things clearly with the smoke and mirrors card right here. And that's the weird thing, because I feel like a part of you knows or has wondered or maybe even heard, like, what if this does work out? What if this does blow up, but you're just not taking it seriously because you're not sure. You're just like, whatever, you know. And then all of a sudden one day, this blessing is going to catch your ass slipping, and then you'll be ready. But don't wait for this to show up on your doorstep before you start taking it serious, pile 5. This has been promised to you. So start getting organized, especially if this is some sort of idea or a business, a goal, even wishful thinking. It's something that you've been daydreaming about, and you think it'll only always just exist in your mind with this 4 of Swords in reverse right here. Spirit says this is promised to you with this Emperor card here. Wow. You even see in this 9 of Wands how this rabbit was caught slipping? You guys see? Let me hold this up so you can really see this. Look at how stressed this rabbit is. This rabbit is stressed. Oh my God, this is so, I never noticed this before. He didn't have all his wands placed down and a snake got through. And look at his face. He's trying to get that last wand up. He's really stressing now. Pile 5. Oh my God, especially if you only have a couple of things to get straight or to look into, it's not as tedious as you think. That one wand was enough for the snake to get in. Pile 5, this is your warning to get ready to receive something really big, but don't get caught slipping like this damn rabbit, because I just saw 11:11 on my clock as well. Just saw 11:11 on my clock. This is crazy. On my camera clock for me recording. So were you the one that I said I saw 2224 for? I saw that on my house clock, but 11:11 I just saw on my camera clock. But anyways, yeah, you don't want to get caught slipping like this rabbit here. This rabbit just got, he's yeah. That is a really funny card now that I look at it. Let's get one final message here for you guys from the Mother Aset, also known as the goddess Isis. Ooh, okay. Okay, and it says, beings of light and divinity are calling you now. They wish to connect with you more strongly, and you're being guided to strengthen your energy field to allow more of the divine light that seeks you to flow through your body safely and into expression. Wow. So you've got a whole new frequency that is trying to come to you. You've got like a whole new frequency that is actually trying to come to you, pile 5. And descent of the star of Isis, it even sounds like I said, God is coming through in your reading and is like really communicating with you, and is wanting to say that there is this energy that is descending to you, this blessed energy, this blessed light. It may even be miraculous what ends up happening to some of my pile 5s this year by the end of this year. I just heard, because if you know the story of Aset, and Wazir, otherwise known as Osiris, Osar, her husband, he was killed by their brother Set, and Set's evil ass threw Wazir, Osar, Osiris, into the Nile. And because Osiris's body was so divine, he actually ended up growing all of these flowers around the coffin that he was buried in, that Set tricked him and buried him in. And he ended up becoming this pillar. And another king or queen from a different area, they actually saw this pillar and thought it was so nice, and they put it in their palace. But if you look into that story, it's a wild story. But again, it's like this miraculous energy coming for some of my pile 5s. You guys have some miraculous energy coming here. And it's really not going to be something that you're expecting at all. Smoke and mirrors, like I said, you don't see it. You do not see this, pile 5, but there's blessings coming. Like God is talking to you in your cards. I'm going to create harmony for you, and I'm going to give you blessings. And this is going to be a grand symphony, a huge climatic moment, a beautiful moment. This is a descent of blessings to you, pile 5, which is really beautiful. So I think Dejhuty just wanted to come in and say, like, hey, you got some really good things coming for you. Like, get excited about this, because it looks to be miraculous what ends up happening. And you don't think you're capable of this, or you don't think that this could happen for you. Wow. But this is all that I'm saying for my pile 5s. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me take this time to thank your guides, my guides, our higher self, amazing spirit, of course, Dejhuty, Ma'at, and Aset for coming through, delivering these messages today. Hopefully you all come back to visit sometime soon, but until next time, please stay safe, healthy, blessed, and keep conquering the world. Bye, you guys.